Hi, welcome. I finally made it. Oh my goodness. Hopefully all is well with how this is working. I have been having one issue after another, and I have everything all set up, and then I'm just kind of twiddling my thumbs and waiting, and then all of a sudden things like disconnect or they just decide to do their own thing. So I don't even know if getting things done ahead of time and ready is even worth it, because it seems like then it just cuts out or something. So I apologize. I'm a few minutes late again. Ooh, but it's fine, right? We'll make it work. Craig, yes, Craig? I think Craig was saying hi. Hey, you can say hi. Hi. Okay, he says hi very shyly. So welcome and thank you for joining me. I'm Teresa from Keep in Touch Crafts, Oak Grove, Minnesota, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I am coming to you live here, and hopefully this can be some time that is just stress-free and relaxing and a little time for yourself. That's what I try to bring you, something that you'll enjoy maybe or decide to do sometime, or maybe somebody you know will. And I've found that this pretty simple craft that I have come to love, card making. I shouldn't say simple, it can be complicated, but I just really enjoy the time that I can just let the stress out and just relax. And got my slippers on, I hope you do too. You can just chill and we'll have some fun tonight. So what I am doing is focusing on some quilt front cards. They kind of look like a quilt square. I've only done a couple examples tonight, but there are many, many out there, and I know a lot of people like to do quilting, and so I was thinking it would be nice if you could make cards that maybe kind of match the quilts that you're giving or your projects that you're working on, and that could be part of the gift, is maybe a quilt that would match or coordinate along with your gift to people. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, and what I'm going to do is get a whole bunch of different color combinations so that you can get an idea of different color schemes, that it's not all just one kind of a look. So I'm going to have several different. Now, if I was making a set of note cards, I would probably take one of those color schemes and have similar related kind of a look to each of the note cards. The ones I'm showing you today that I have done are all different as far as the color scheme goes, just so that you can have that idea of the different ideas of color schemes. And you'll see what I mean more here in a minute. Chris is here. Cindy, hi on Cindy and Chris, and Karna's got her slippers on. Yay, we're having a little glow gathering here. Sam is here. Hey Sam, welcome everybody. And now I bet you're all gonna make cards, right? Like, you all have to show me the cards you make. And you know, Chris, I am having a one of them that I'm doing first is just kind of neutral colors and something that a guy might like. So you and Sam, now this one is what you're gonna have to make, right? And the gals can choose whatever color scheme they want, but it'll be really fun to see your creations and put them up on my Keep in Touch page. And so I will be able to get those up there for the whole world to see once they're done and created, right? Thanks, Karna. Like my earrings, they're flashing in the... Yeah, well, appreciate that. So gals and guys, everybody, I'm going to put the camera down here, and we will start thinking about doing some card fronts, and I'll kind of give you a little basic idea of what I'm talking about in one moment. Here we go. So let's go down to there. Alrighty. All right, that's where the work surface is. We're going to get some work done here. All right, so we have available in our catalog a bunch of paper packs, and they coordinate with the colors that we have. So we have ink and paper and blend markers and ribbon and everything that all kind of correspond together, and they're in different color families. So this is an example of some of the color family that is, I believe these are called Regal. These are the Regals. We have some, these are in colors, so these are colors that kind of come and go. And every year they come out with different patterns in those various color families. So this is this year's pattern, and there's usually 4 different patterns, and it just makes it very easy to coordinate your products so that you can make cards that match. Your ink's going to match, your ribbon's going to match, etc. So this is what I'm going to be using, our paper packs, to get the colors that I want for the different cards that I'll be making. I just had the 2 different designs. So I've already pre-made 3 of them, and I'm going to be doing the one tonight that with you that has to do with the neutrals. So we have a neutral pack of paper that kind of has these neutral colors in it, and this is the one that like Chris and Sam's going to make, and maybe Aunt Cindy will have Lauren do it. I'm sure, no doubt about it, right? And so and here's some more examples of those packs of paper that we have. So like this one was our subtles, and I made an example of subtles. So the colors kind of all go together. So these would be nice colors to coordinate together if you want kind of a subtle card front, that kind of thing. So it just makes it easy to coordinate. You can use whatever types of, we call it DSP, designer series paper, basically pattern paper. Use whatever pattern paper you have that you like to use. Usually you'd want to use something that would have a small background to it, small print, because that kind of looks more like quilts. I'm just showing you paper packs that we have. This is one that would maybe work. This pattern would be good for a kind of a quilt, but I would look for a floral pattern that's real small, and or just like an overall pattern with color, that kind of thing. You don't want anything too big. Something like that would be nice because it's nice and real small pattern to it. And you'll see a little bit more here in a bit. But these are just some basic DSP samples I happen to have here at my fingertips. And so that, I'm going to make sure I have enough light. So that is kind of what you'll look for. Let's see, I think I'm using 4 different colors for a card. And so what you're going to do is get 4 different DSP or patterned papers. You're going to get a base that you're going to make your card on, and the base is 4 inches by 8 inches, and then you're just going to score it down the middle so that you have a 4 by 4 inch square card. Okay, and this will be the card base I'm having for this one. Not the most beautiful color in the world, but it's just kind of supposed to be a little more muted. Then you're going to take a square of a contrasting color that'll be in your actual card front, your pattern for your kind of a quilt look. You're going to use a contrasting color. I could use either side, and this is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that gives you an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Okay, so we'll set that aside. I also did cut a kind of a basic piece that's lighter, and that'll be for the inside. So that will just go on the inside here. It's a lighter color that you'll be able to write on. You'll be able to stamp a sentiment, and I'm not even putting any sentiments on tonight because it really depends. I don't even know what I want to use these for yet. Is it going to be birthday? Is it going to be thank you or whatever, or a note card set, that kind of thing. So I'm not even doing sentiments. You'll be able to write or add or stamp anything you want to go with this. I'm just kind of basically focusing on the front, okay? So let's see here. I guess I could adhere this together. What I'm going to use for the glue is I'm going to use our liquid Tombow glue. You can use a tape runner, whatever you have that's good strong glue. Of course, you don't want it falling apart. This is nice because it's pretty economical. I think it's $4 for this tube thing, and it lasts a long time, so it's one of my favorites. And another reason I like a liquid glue for this is see how you can kind of scoot it around a little bit. It gives you a little time before it totally grabs it, and then then it won't move at this point. So that's why I like a liquid glue. You've got a little time to wiggle it around to get it right into place exactly where you want it. All right, now I'm going to wait and do the rest of it when the other part is finished. What you need for this is, hopefully you still have, or somewhere around your house, you have some grid paper. And this is what I usually have to use to come up with a pattern, especially what this type of a project, because you need to really keep things square. And oops, sorry, noisy, just grabbing a pencil. And my ruler's got to be around here, gonna grab that. So grid paper and a good ruler. So what I'm gonna start with, now the one I'm doing first has an image area that I want to draw on here. I'm going to put my whole pattern on here. I'm going to affix even the paper to this. And then I'm going to cut it out, adhere that onto the front. This is really, really thin, kind of thinner than copy paper even. So that will be able to just be adhered onto your card and you won't see it because your project paper is going to be covering it up. So I'm going to start with drawing out a square that is, let's see, 3.5 inches. Okay, so a 3.5 inch square is what I'll start with. And I'm just going to draw a line there and decide where you want to start it. And I'm going to mark off at 3.5. So here is my first side of my square. And again, none of this is going to show because you are going to be covering it all up with paper. So then 3.5 inches high would be up to here, this line. Hopefully I'm staying on camera and the color is okay and the brightness. If not, let me know, guys. If it's hard to see or anything, I can kind of adjust stuff a little bit. And 3.5, all right. So let's make sure I did it right because I'm not paying attention. Good. 3.5 that way. And 3, oh, did I do that right? I have to look at it at a different angle, so I can't tell as easily. Yep, 3.5. All right, so this is going to be the image area that we're going to be putting our paper onto, which I'll show you a little more in a second. I do want to mark the center of each of the sides. So half of that 1 3/4, or half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. I can talk. Okay, so I'm putting a little mark there and a little mark here. So that's the center. And I'll do the same on the sides here. We're gonna find that 1 3/4. I believe it'll be there. I think I'm right. Again, I'm kind of doing it sideways and not at the right angle that I usually craft at, so who knows what, it wouldn't surprise me if I would mess it up. But I think I did okay. Am I right? 1 3/4 should be over here. Okay. Yes, so this is those center marks. Now you're going to draw your pattern onto this. I'm trying to remember what this one was even called. Karna might remember once we're done, but draw a line from those center points to the other center points to make that diamond shape. All right, so we're getting that all on there, all right. One more. And this is just going to lay everything out so you know where to put it, okay? So there is that so far. And I do want to put a few more marks on here. So I'm going to put corner to corner marks on there as well. Or I mean, yeah, point to point here. And here as well. And that's going to lay it all out for you. And then typically you would kind of plan how you want to do that, what colors you want where. But what I'm doing is these squares are each 1 1/4 inches square. So I am going to need a bunch of those. So the first thing I'm going to start with is here. I'm going to just say I'll put an X here and here. This is kind of a focal point part that I'm looking at. So I am going to grab my supplies here. and I would get a trimmer out and I would cut 1 1/4 inch squares. Through the magic of television, I did that already ahead of time, guys. But you are going to use your cutter, your trimmer, and get 1 1/4 inch squares, okay? I opted to use blue for these center points. And the nice thing about these papers are I have 2 different choices on each one. So I can choose the floral or this one, or, ooh, where am I? There we go. 2-sided. So I'm going to start, I can always change it up once I get it laid out. So I'm going to have that there, okay? This is going to be the same color as my first matte paper that I cut. That's what, remember this? So here was the 3.5 inches, right? Yeah, 3.5 inch square. I might have told you the wrong thing. So it's 4 inches, 4-inch square base. So 3 3/4 inch square was this, okay? Okay, I can talk tonight really well. And so then that is the same color as what I have there. And then I have some other colors cut to one. They're all the same, 1 1/4 inch squares. And I suppose I'll be missing some. My luck. No, here we go. Okay, so the paper pack was neutrals, so I'm coming up with some neutral colors here, and I'm going to be laying them out and cutting some in half. So this color right here is kind of my base color. I am going to cut these from corner to corner, and they're going to go in a spot. I'll show you. And what I am going to suggest too is if you can find markers or an ink pad or anything that is even close, we're going to use that, and I'll show you why in a moment. So for now, I'm just going to put those here. I hope you can see that okay, guys. We're going to be trimming it all off eventually. And then I'm going to have maybe a green would go here. Yeah, I'll use that pattern maybe for this one. And then this one is going to go here. I don't have the plaid yet, so that'll work. And then here, you'll see what I mean in a second. So what we're going to do then is you can get a scissor or a trimmer, whatever you have. Let's see, I should be able to use a scissor okay on that. No, I'm not. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use my trimmer. I want this to be as square and as possible. So both of these two, I'm going to be trimming from point to point to make the 2 triangles. And I just put the edge, the little point right on the edge where it's going to be trimmed. If you have like a blade or a scissors, whatever you use, you can, whichever you use, just cut those from corner to corner. These 2 are going to go that way. Alrighty, so we have corner to corner. I do not know how people make quilts. I would never be like patient enough. I don't know how you do it, Karna, and your friends too, and they're just so beautiful. This is kind of about the only way I can quilt is just something quick like this. But anyways, it's their works of art, that's for sure. So you know what it's like to be creative and have that creative outlet to kind of enjoy and work on something and have that satisfaction of making something for people and that kind of thing. Okay, so you're kind of getting a rough idea here. Now, this bottom one is going to be here as a triangle and here as a triangle. So I'm going to cut this one in half. This one will stay whole. Okay, corner to corner again to make triangles. Okay. Okay, there we are. And these are a little bit fussier maybe, but they're kind of fun and cool, and yeah, not bad. They kind of make their own little artwork there. And again, this will repeat here and in these 2 places. All right. Oh, it looks like your colors that you've made when you first made one the first time, huh, Karna? Kind of those deeper neutral tones. To me, these are kind of what I would think of as kind of more masculine type of colors. That's, of course, not PC to say probably, but just those deeper, richer hues, you know, that are kind of just kind of neutral, or I don't know. They're just not bright and bold, right? But they're still cool. I really like them. So this is going to be the general idea of this front of our card, okay? There is a name for this. Like I said, I can't remember it. Shoot, and I wrote it down somewhere, so I'll try to find that. But let me see. Oh, it's called, yeah, I found it. It's called Diamond Quilt pattern, the Diamond Quilt card pattern. So there's the diamond. So now we're going to be adhering all of these on, or in place. Now what I've noticed is, it depends on how fussy you are. If you are fussy and you don't want that whiteness, I'm off camera, sorry. You don't want that white part from the edge of your paper showing, if that bugs you. You can color the edge of your paper. And I just do that real quick. I probably will with the blends. And you can, like I said, you can use an ink pad if you'd rather, but I just draw this real quick over the edge, and it just kind of takes that cut look off of there and kind of makes it blend in a little better, like so. And I'm going to do that on this one too. And I don't want the whiteness from that grid paper to show through, so I am also going to draw around the squares right here on this paper, so that if it happens to just peek through a little teeny bit, it won't really show, because this is going to be behind that and it won't have this bright white paper. So it's just kind of sloppy looking, but it probably won't make a whole lot of difference. I just like to do that to make sure no white is coming up through there. And then we do the same thing with the other colors. So I am going to grab, and they don't even really have to be exactly the same, just so that it can take off that edge that is white. And just kind of make it hide that a little bit. You could, just, like I said, just use something close. And that should be fine. You could use a Sharpie or a whatever marker, or even I've also used like an ink pad from a stamp ink pad, and kind of tapped it onto it like that, and then that is another way of coloring up those edges if you have a stamp pad. There's several ways you can do it. Okay, this is a bit tedious, right? So, yeah, but it's worth it. If you want to make a quilt, you have to be a patient person, as Karna knows. But I try to be patient, and yeah, but probably patience and sewing aren't my abilities right now. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here, is draw those lines in so that nothing will show through there to show any whiteness. Okay, lovely. You wouldn't think that would work to be anything nice, but it does. And this again is just standard grid paper, so nothing fancy there. All right, next color, we have this kind of a cranberry color. I wonder what that one, the actual color is. I should know that, but I don't think I do off the top of my head. So I'm going to grab some kind of any reddish type. I'm going to use, these have two ends. These are alcohol ink markers. Ugh, that one is mangled. I need to replace that one. Alcohol markers, but you don't have to use that for this, but that's just what I have because we have everything coordinates, you know, so we're lucky. Just, you don't have to worry about getting things to match perfectly because they do the work for you. And this, again, this might not be anything anyone's really going to notice, but I would notice that big white line showing, even though it's not big. Hope you guys are doing good and having a good week. We're hanging out, and yeah, we have some days off here together, and it's kind of fun. Tyler has had better days. I don't know if he's listening now. Oh, it was called a jewel tone quilt. It is pretty bad since it was my first one learning to quilt. Well, I bet it's gorgeous. But yeah, jewel tones are kind of that deeper. Yeah, I get it. I can see where that would come from. That kind of description of the colors. Yeah, I've always liked kind of deeper colors. I don't know why, but between, I think my favorite color family in our Stampin' Up! Book or whatever catalog is they call them the Regals, and they're kind of like those jewel tones. They're darker, deeper, kind of rich colors like that. Now I'll be adding in this, a little bit of this reddish kind of to color, or to cover up those lines. It also kind of shows you your pattern so you're not adhering something in the wrong spot. You can kind of go, oh yeah, that's where I meant to have it, or like that just moved and I know where it goes because I have it drawn on there. And then this one I was going to put up here. Okay, that. Okay, did I even do both of these on the edges? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, green's next. We're getting there, guys. And we'll use a green that's close, but I doubt it's the same exact color. I'm going to use the other end again. I like the brush end. Just goes a titch quicker. Okay. Okay, so that'll be going there. And this is going to be colored on the edge. Ah, I schmearlapped, as the glows say. All right. Oh, yeah, so wasn't I saying something about Tyler? Yeah, Tyler had his catalytic converter ripped off out of his car. So that was not a good day for him. Everybody watch your vehicles, because people are stealing. Even in, you know, nothing, he has an Escape that's old, like in, I don't know, '05 or something, but even though it kind of has low miles. Not fun. But he was able to get it fixed quickly and easily, which is a miracle. So that I'm glad to hear. Poor kid. Not a fun thing to go out to your car and have it act really strange and make a lot of noise. Not cool. Luckily, I think his insurance will cover it too, but had to call the police and, oh goodness, not fun. All right. There we are. So this is the general layout, and I'm going to start adhering things together now. You do really want to try to make sure you're keeping things square. That's why the grid, of course, is very helpful. And I am also using this liquid glue because it does let me scoot things around a little bit after I've, after I've kind of put them down. And you just do a little bit on there. You try not to have it ooze out, because that can leave a little bit of a, like a sheen. I am not, normally when I craft, I'm looking straight overhead so I can see better. So I'm hoping I'm getting this in the right spot. But, like, see, I don't know why that's kind of, oh, that's the glue. Okay. So there's one. And this is going to be 2. See, we're counting and doing geometry and all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, it keeps our minds sharp, huh? All right, so that's the only place the blue goes on the actual square there. And the next I will put the green down here. Jumped out of my hand. And that's what's, again, nice about this liquid glue. You can scoot stuff. So you put it down and you just scoot it into place really well. Give it a good press. The red. Okay. Yeah, I think it's happening everywhere, Karna. It's not fun. It's hard to protect yourself against that one. And especially, I guess, you know, he has an Escape like we do, and his is older though, but they like the vehicles that are up a little bit more off the ground, is what the policeman told him about. so it's a little easier. They just shimmy under there and all that. But they've even had extra patrols in his parking lot to try to stop people. Oh yeah, everything went flying. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, I think I dropped one of my pretty greens there. Glue, everything sticks to my glue, and so then I have everything go flying. So for this one, I want to use this pattern. I'm switching up the patterns. You can do them all the same too. So for our pattern packs that we have come out every year, of these paper families that I was explaining, they come with 4 different patterns of each color. So these are great backgrounds for cards and that kind of thing. That's typically, of course, what we use them for. And the point of that is just that it'll go with everything we have. So it's very nice to have just 4 different patterns of the same colors. Oh, I'm getting glue all over and everything's sticking to me now. Hope you can see this okay. All right. And then the 2 neutrals go there and here. Yeah, I think I probably had something go flying, and I'm going to have to figure out what that was. Yeah, probably one of my colors. Okay. I wonder if you could even do this with actual fabric. That might be kind of tough, but if you had a few scraps, you know, and you could use the actual same as what you did for your little quilt, and I don't know if that'd be able to be done or not. Okay, scoot that into place like so. Okay. All right, now we have the 2 reddish colors that go here. Okay, the red plaid, or the cranberry maybe would be more accurate. I should know what color that is. I think it's called Mary Merlot. Now that I think about it, Mary Merlot is like a cranberry-ish color. And one more. So here, and here have that same pattern and color. Just a gluing project, basically, is what it is. Cutting and gluing. No seam allowance or any of that kind of stuff to worry about. All right, now I need these 2, and here's one of them. I think the other one is on the floor somewhere, being naughty. Okay, there we are. Got that guy scooched in there. And one more. It's probably not going to be anything I can find like quickly, unless I'm lucky. Yeah, because it didn't go anywhere that I can see. Isn't that just the way it goes, huh? Okay, guys, never fear. More paper is here. And what I did was, I cheated, and so you're going to see my cheat. My mom had some square punches, and it just so happened to have my right size of 1 1/4, so yeah, I cheated. And that makes it fast. We don't have these at Stampin' Up! Anymore, so I couldn't very well do that in good conscience. So you got to know that we don't have that anymore. Let's see. Here we are. Just going to color that edge, and I'm just going to trim it off when I'm cutting the actual project, like trimming that down. That'll be just fine. Okay. And let's get one of those corners in here, like so. Okie dokie. Looking good. Now, what I need to do is trim the whole thing. You don't need any of that extra stuff showing. Okay, there you go, guys. Now it looks sort of wonky and rough. but it's amazing what the trimming does. Which trimmer do I want to get? I'm going to get my smaller one. I just have a little desktop one, but it won't really fit in there all the way, so I'm just going to trim it down and then just do the actual good trimming with the trimmer. Okay. You get the idea, right? Okay. So I am putting this in my trimmer and trying to make it so not too messy. Put the lid on the glue, all that good stuff. Okay. All right, so hopefully you can see. The nice thing about the grid paper is they have the lines here that do extend all the way to the end, so I can line that up with my with the edge where I'm going to be trimming. I don't know if I can show you this very well, but regardless, I'm putting that extended line on that edge. See, you can kind of see that maybe. You see it there? Not really, but it kind of just does that. And I'm just going to trim that right on that edge, like so, and go around and just keep it all nice and square, and keep that edge right up there so it's a good clean cut. There's many kinds of trimmers out there on the market, and so whatever you have should work just fine. You can use your scissors too. If you don't have a trimmer, just use your scissor, but this is a pretty nice way to get those nice square cuts on the edges. Okay, there's our there it is. There's our front of our quilt, I guess, the quilt square. And I am going to be putting this on that blue, like so. I don't know, I kind of like I kind of wish I had it just plain without any pattern, but I think that'll be all right. You can let me know what you think, guys. So it's definitely a muted kind of mellow card, right? Mom comes to the rescue. Yes, doesn't she? She still does. Hey, Annie, thanks for coming on. All right, hope you guys are all doing well. I am going to adhere this then onto the front of that. You can use a snail. We have stamp and seal, I guess, now. And you can use the liquid, whatever. In fact, I'm going to stick with the liquid. I just like that the best. And so we'll get that going again. You can see the back. Isn't that lovely? You just wouldn't want that showing, but it doesn't, though. You cover, that's just all stuck down. Nobody will ever know you were using grid paper. Okay, and I kind of want it, well, it's square, so it doesn't matter. And put this on here. Oh, get it to scoot around a little bit. There we are. Scoot. And I'll get it right into place. Okay, I'll try to get that solid, or an even border all the way around, like so. Kind of smooth it on the back, and then we will put this on the front of the card, like so. You could put it up on dimensionals. That'll be kind of like the square of the quilt kind of sticking up a little. I didn't do that with my others. You wouldn't have to, but that is one thing you could do if you'd want to. But a couple of things. One is if you send something in the mail that is square, I've heard that the square items cost more, that there's a surcharge. So I am going to actually put these in a standard size of an envelope, even though they aren't, even though it's not a, the square. This would be, if you have 4x4 envelopes, that's what, you can buy those too, they're available, but that's what these would fit perfectly into, is a 4x4. But I am just going to use a regular size envelope so that it will just go through the mail like it normally would. So what I'm going to do now is grab an envelope and show you what I like to do to decorate that, to match this. All right, envelope, check. Ooh, this one I got a little beat up. So I'm going to put a pattern on the back flap. And let's see if this one is not big enough. I'm going to grab a different one that will be. Any of those on our project will be fine. So then I'm just going to cut this down so it's similar to the size of the envelope. Sometimes I even just draw a picture, I draw a picture. No, sometimes I draw with a pencil around it so that I know where to cut, and it can just be rough, you know, just kind of like so. Okay, and then I trim it after it's adhered on to the actual project. So we'll kind of cut that down just real rough. We'll kind of do that. Okay, hack job there. That's okay. It's going to be all pretty by the time we're done with it. We're going to be adhering it onto this. Okay, so you can put either way. You can put it on the paper or on your envelope, whatever you prefer. Getting it right up to that line, and then I'm gonna give it a good press to make it, you know, adhere right where I want it. You can see that back side. I probably should, I meant to do the floral side down with the actual the side. I wanted the side up that's like this, but I went too fast, but it all matches, so it's good. It's all good. I meant to do that, yeah. Trim it around. Try to keep it as straight and careful as you can. So that just kind of dresses up your envelope a little bit more. And so I would probably just mail it in like this. And although that's not, Janet, oh, I miss you, my old boss. I haven't seen you for ages, like a year. I got to get in there and see you guys. But thank you, Janet. So you'll see some other samples that, in my opinion, are a little nicer or whatever, but this will do too. But like I said, I would probably just send it in this, like it's close this direction. It is too big this way. You can get 4x4 note or envelopes, or you can just do what I'm going to do and cheat and put it in one like this. Okay. Now I want to decorate it a little bit more. So I think what I'm going to do is punch out a little flower. You can, whatever kind of a focal point you would like to put as a decoration in the middle. I might do this, and that'll tie in with my envelope then that I put that pattern onto. And you could use that, I'll just use the same glue again, although a lot of times I like to use an actual glue dot. Kind of works good. I like to make these stick up a little bit, like so, and adhere that to the center, like that. Now, if you had a quilt that you're giving somebody or a gift, or for a quilter who, or even a guy, well, a guy, maybe you wouldn't want the flower in the middle. I don't know. It's up to you. But regardless, that's how that would go. You could do a little bit of baker's twine, a little bow on there, but I'm going to just do this, and then I'm going to put some bling on there. Oh, yeah, okay. Put some bling on here. These are our holiday rhinestones. Whatever you have will work. There's so many options. This one, I think I was going to do the blue on this, and you'll see my other samples have different colors too. Take your pick tool. Where are you? Here we go. All right, so I'm going to use, there's a couple different sizes. I'm going to use the blue, a little bit bigger one here. And then I'm going to use two more just to put randomly wherever, kind of decorate it a little more. Oops, I have strong glue on my thumb apparently. Sean, hi Sean. Oh my goodness, thanks for coming by today. Miss you guys. All right, there's one. And Nancy, hi Nancy, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Finally got to see me live. I appreciate that very much. I'm kind of to the end of my project for the night. I'll show a couple more samples here in a second. And earlier I had put that I'm not doing sentiments today because I don't know what I would want for sentiments. A lot of times I'll leave them off for now. Whatever stamps that you have, I would probably do something that's just a small little narrow greeting on there. Happy birthday or thank you or whatever you need it for. And you could put something inside as well if you would want. And you would, of course, just write there. So that is the one that I'm making with you. Now the rest of them I have done. Here is the envelope then that would go along with it. Let's see, what are we going to do next? I made a set of 4, and as I had explained earlier, Nancy, and for others who joined in, Sean and Anne, I made 4 note cards, and the idea is a note card set, but I would normally make a note card set that all 4 of them kind of go together, the same color scheme or color family. I made 4 totally different color family cards just so that you can get an idea of what the different ones look like. But this is not what I would normally put together. But this is the more neutral. And then I made kind of a more bright one out of this color scheme. And this again is some more of our papers. This is from the Bright Pack. And here's the envelope for that one. And so these two have the same diamond pattern that, let's see, it was called a diamond quilt card. If you don't want to do a 4x4 and you'd rather use a regular card, if you have a card base, let me find one here, because you know I have them everywhere. So if you just take your normal cardstock, okay, I gotta find one. Okay, so let's say this is your card. This is a normal, or a standard, I should say, 4 1/4, 5 1/2, because it's a half a sheet. This is from a different project. It's from a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, but let's just say it was the right color. If you had you could do a card like this if you didn't want to do a square one like I'm doing with this note card set. You could do this, and you could put your ribbon and a sentiment down here and just have your standard size card, okay? So it totally doesn't matter whichever way you would want to do that. That is another option for this card. Now, for some of them, I also just put them through an embossing machine for dry embossing to get some texture on the background. And I did it after the whole square was made, but before I put on these embellishments. So I don't know if you can see that that texture that's on there. It's totally optional. I'm just trying to kind of get you to be able to see that. I don't know if it's showing. But anyways, it is there. There's texture on it, and that kind of helps it all to kind of be a little bit more cohesive as well. So that's the one one of the patterns that I've done. And the other one I'm just going to show you, but I can get you those instructions if you'd like. So this one is one that I made with the Subtles, our Subtles paper pack. And this one has the 3 colors. And so I can show you what I should do is make the pattern up for you guys to see this. It's very similar to what I just did, only we have a 1 inch by 1 inch square, and then in that same color I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 1/2 inch by 1 1/2 inch pieces. Okay, and then I would have 1, 2, 3, 4 of another color contrasting of 1/2 inch by 1 1/2 inch. Then you just have 1, 2, 3, 4 of this smaller size, which is a 1/2 inch by 1 inch. So that, I know it's a lot thrown at you. but I can try to get the pattern out there better for you to do. But this one, then you would be on that grid paper just like we did. You would start with the center, and then you would go ahead and adhere them on around. Then I put this through an embossing folder that we have that I think it looks so cute. I like this one. It has kind of some stitching and stuff on it, and I thought that went really well with a quilt kind of a look. And this was an embossing folder that came from the set called, what was this called? Little Details Embossing Folder. I believe this was like a retiring product that's going to be going out, so I happened to buy it when it was a little cheaper. And I use the same details on this style. So there was, I think I made a card for this, I mean an envelope. Here it is, right down here. So that was this style. And you know, on the inside I would probably put another little strip of the designer series paper again. And then the other color scheme I made was a bright one, or is this, yeah, this was Regal, and this is the bright. So this has the same pattern as this one. Okay, here's just a white one that I matted it on. And so this was the same sizes that I just told you, different color scheme. So this, if you use the same color scheme and made 4 of them, this would be just a super nice note card set. You could either have some sentiments in there on a little white strip, or whatever color you would want to use that would go along with your project, and then it could say happy birthday or whatever, and then they can use them, or you can use them as you need them. And you would just put a white or a color on the inside like that. Okay, so that is what I came up with for tonight's project. I am hoping you can be brave enough and give it a try. It's not hard. It's a little tedious. Using grid paper, though, will make it a lot easier. One other thing I wanted to show you is I did my very first one that I tried. I just did some of the squares. I cut out, gosh, these were 1-inch squares, I believe, and then I adhered them down, and it's kind of more into the background. It's not the focal point on this one, but just another idea of some of the things you can do. Now, this is just 3 of the different patterns that I found. There are many, many others out there. And so if you or anyone you know would like to receive or have me send out a kit for quilt fronts, I can do that. Just let me know, and we can kind of go over. There's some different color schemes to choose from. You could go neutrals, brights, regals, or subtles, I think it is. And then you would get the supplies to be able to make 2 of each design. And yeah, so you'd be able to make some note cards in using a pack. I'm going to get that information up there as well for you, so that it is something that you'd be able to get if you would like. Okay, so is that all I was going to show you? I think so. There, we're done. I hope you enjoyed the night. Let's see. Perfect to use many messages. Yes, that's right, Nancy. Good idea. I like that one. So I hope that you can get inspired a little bit here tonight, and let me know what you've made. I would love to see them, you guys. This I'll be putting up on YouTube also for those people who don't have access to the Facebook, which I have quite a few people that I know that don't watch it on Facebook. They would prefer to watch it on YouTube. And also people who are watching the replay, thank you for doing so and tuning in and for sharing and all that good stuff. So hopefully you'll have a good night, and be ready for me to get out some information to you on a catalog kickoff. So our new catalog goes live on May 4th, I believe it is. And I'm going to be having a kickoff party. I'm going to have one in person and at least one that I'll be doing Zoom party. So you would get things in the mail to make 4 different cards, and it's going to kind of give you an idea of the different some of the different things coming out, so it's not all going to be the same. But thanks for tuning in, Nancy, for stopping by, and everybody else. But anyways, that kickoff information is going to come out soon. And then we also, in between the cards, play bingo for some really good prizes that I'll mail out to you if you're a winner. So be forewarned for that. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll get that information to you. But I'm going to be putting it up anyway. So thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend, and the happy Friday tomorrow. We will be in touch soon. Thank you so much, guys. Keep in touch. Thank you.